Alright, guys. It is Thursday, June 17th, 2021 at 2:18 p.m. Alright, let's start with some Bible verses. We have, "Those who guard their lips preserve their lives, but those who speak rashly will come to ruin." Proverbs 13:3. Also, we have, "The tongue has a power of life and death, but those who love it will eat its fruit." Proverbs 18:21. "A good man brings good things out of the good stored in his heart, and an evil man will bring evil things out of evil stored up in his heart. For the mouth speaks what the heart is full of." Luke 6:45. "Do not let any unwholesome talk come out of your mouths, but only that what is helpful for building others up according to their needs, that it may benefit those who listen." Ephesians 4:29. "Those who guard their lips will preserve their lives, but those who speak rashly will come to ruin." Proverbs 13:3. "Do not repay evil with evil or insult with insult. On the contrary, repay evil with blessing, because to this you were called, so that you may inherit a blessing." 1 Peter 3:9. And the next one is, "The soothing tongue is a tree of life, but a perverse tongue crushes the spirit." Proverbs 15:4. And the last one I'm reading, "Even fools are thought wise if they keep silent, and discerning if they hold their tongues." Proverbs 17:28. Alright, so I'll leave a link to these Bible verse website so you guys can check it out and do on your own reading of verses. Alright, next, let's take a look at my Twitter. If you guys want to check out my Twitter, I'll leave the link in the description below so you guys can check out all these stories that I repost. Alright, next from AccuWeather. As record heat continued in the southwest yesterday, multiple wildfires were started in several states. Wildfires burned throughout the southwest amid heat wave. Alright, guys, so fires starting again. And from the National Hurricane Center, we have a broad area of low pressure over the southwestern Gulf of Mexico. It is likely to become a tropical or subtropical depression tonight or early Friday. A tropical storm warning will likely be required for parts of the northern Gulf coast later this afternoon. Alright, then we have an earthquake from Earthquake Monitor, a 4.4 28 minutes ago, off the coast of southwestern Manta, Ecuador. Also a 4.1 off of Matias Romero, Mexico. So a couple of quakes happening. And then from AccuWeather, flood waters raced through Sinpalak, Nepal yesterday after a monsoon rains caused a river of overflowing its banks. The flooding has killed at least one person, while 7 are reported missing. Please pray for the people of Nepal having to go through these floods. Alright, next, the NWS Weather Prediction Center. A broad area of low pressure over the Bay of Campeche will likely form into a tropical or subtropical depression by late tonight or Friday as it lifts north. Heavy rain associated with the system will impact portions of the central Gulf Coast and southeast through Friday through Sunday. Let's take a look at the map so you guys can see the rain accumulation. So these areas right here from the coast of Texas all the way to the coast of the panhandle of Florida and parts of Tennessee and North Carolina, all the way in Alabama, Mississippi, Georgia, South Carolina, Louisiana. All this area is going to be experiencing increase of rain because of the system that is going to be affecting it over the weekend. Alright, next, from Weather Nation, the severe weather risk is up to enhanced to 3 out of 5, both today and tomorrow across the Midwest and Great Lakes. Significant wind gusts over 75 miles per hour are possible, in addition to large hail and a few tornadoes. Let's take a look at the maps showing the areas affected or possibly going to be affected. We have enhanced for Mason City and La Crosse, and then slight for Des Moines, Peoria, Milwaukee, Minneapolis, Sioux Falls, and then general thunderstorms and marginal rain for Springfield, Omaha, Minneapolis, Marquette, Chicago, the Great Lakes area. Alright. And this is severe outlook for Friday. Parts of Indianapolis and Columbus, slight for Springfield, Cincinnati, and Pittsburgh and Cleveland, and then marginal for Lincoln, Kansas, St. Louis, Louisville, Charleston, Williamsport, Buffalo, Syracuse, Detroit, and Chicago. So pretty much a couple of days of storms up there by the Great Lakes. Alright, next. A small plane crashes off New Jersey coast with 3 people on board as police scour the water on jet skis. So a glider crashes into the sea. Please pray for the people there. Alright, next, this is from Spinks Meganson. Invest 92L is expected to finally begin moving north later today. 90% chance this becomes a tropical storm. The next name on the list is Claudette. Heavy rain and flash flooding will become likely this weekend across a wide swath of the deep south. So as you see here, this is the storm bubbling up. Going to be affecting parts of Florida here as you see, bringing rain as this moves up towards the north. Affecting parts of Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Florida. So this is going to be heading up there, and that's what is going to be bringing all that moisture and rain to the area. Alright, from Stargazer 77, wind and rain in Cozumel. Pesky low system needs to move on. And they tag Jim Cantori and all the weather people, but look at the wind affecting the palms. Pretty much what you expect with a system like this. Alright, then the hurricane hunters say boogity boogity boogity, let's go flying. We have the aircrew en route to Invest 92L for a low-level investigation mission. Reserve ready. So we got the people from the hurricane hunters getting ready to fly into 92L in the Gulf. Alright. And then we have from Where ABC 3, clouds of dust from the Sahara Desert are set to sweep into Florida from the Atlantic coast. The plume is expected to dampen storm activity but worsen air pollution. So we got that Saharan air dust coming in, Saharan air layer coming in to the Caribbean and parts of Florida across the Atlantic from Africa. Alright. Then we have, this is a weird story, the Washington Post. Scientists are teaching drones to hunt down human screams. So that is quite eerie. A lot of comments in this post were talking about how they wouldn't know if the drones were hunting people down eventually. They kind of put a lot of Skynet gifs and everything saying if they're hunting human screams, will they eventually be causing them? A lot of speculation on that, but it's kind of creepy that they're teaching drones to hunt down human screams. What about children who play in a playground or something? Are they just going to be hovering over neighborhoods just looking for people screaming? That's creepy and eerie, but it might also be useful to help people who might be lost. Who knows? Alright, then another person from the Sun here who can relate to this man's struggle dealing with heights. He says he can't look, and he's like, yeah, they're like, yeah, you got this, you can make it to the edge. And he's terrified of looking at the edge. I would be too. To be 100% honest, I'd be thinking, I don't want to become another statistic and fall off the edge. Alright, next, from Disclosure TV. Iranian Navy vessels change course now, streaming north up to the west coast of Africa and possibly heading to the Mediterranean instead of Venezuela. So heads up for the people of west coast of Africa. We got Iranian Navy vessels possibly heading in. Alright, now let's take a look at the next stories. We got tsunami damage and panic after a strong 6.1 earthquake hits Indonesian Moluccas. It says hundreds of people near Indonesia's Moluccas Islands rushed to higher ground on Wednesday, June 16, 2021, fearing aftershocks and a possible tsunami after a magnitude 6.1 earthquake. And here's the area in the Philippines where the 6.1 hit. It says tsunami fears are as powerful as a 6.1 magnitude earthquake strikes off Indonesia, with officials warning islanders to move to higher ground. The quake struck at a depth of 11 miles. There were no immediate reports of casualties. It says Indonesia's Meteorology and Geophysics Agency urged people in a text message to move away from beaches and seek higher ground. nothing that the warning applied, especially to Seram Island. And here you have an image of the buildings, the bricks falling in on people's homes, and the disaster after from the aftershock of the earthquake. So it says the wall of the south cracked down after the magnitude 6.1 earthquake and tsunami on Moluccas Island in Indonesia, June 16, 2021. Alright, it says here BMKG initially said a tsunami triggered by the movement of tectonic plates, which was unlikely, but then said one could possibly still be triggered by underwater landslides, of which there will be no warning. Alright, guys, so I'm going to leave the link for this article so you guys can check out the videos if you feel like looking at them. Alright, next. Millions of spiders flee Victorian floods and cover Gippsland, Australia, in huge cobwebs. It says millions of spiders are covering paddocks and roadsides in the Australian region in Gippsland in alien-like cobwebs as they flee Victorian floods. The region has become an arachnophobe's worst nightmare as entire towns are draped in spiderwebs. Alright, so here's an image of spiderwebs covering the area. It says flooding in Victoria's regions has caused a stir in the local spider population. Residents of the Australian region of Gippsland in the state of Victoria were greeted with layers of gossamer cobwebs as the area was hit by severe flooding. The Victoria State Emergency Service issued multiple flood warnings in the rural area in early June, with some residents urged to evacuate, according to tweets from Darren Chesper and the MP of Gippsland. Huge spiderweb blankets bushland in Australia. So this is a surprisingly common phenomena after floods. When we get these types of heavy rains and flooding, these animals who spent their lives critically on the ground can't live there anymore and do exactly what we try to do. They move to higher ground. Alright, so we got some spiders fleeing for their lives. Alright, next. Radioactive. Dangerous radioactive gas leak at Chinese nuclear power plant could become a major disaster. A Chinese nuclear power station is leaking radioactive gas and could become a major disaster, according to the U.S. intelligence reports. It says Taishan nuclear power plant, located in southern Guangdong province, is thought to have been leaking for at least 2 weeks after a French firm that co-owns the facility flagged the issue to Washington. Alright, so possibility of danger there, guys. I'll leave the link to the article if you feel like reading more on it. And next, Botswana diamond could be the world's third largest. President Mokgweetsi Massi was showing the gem at a ceremony in the capital of Gaborone. A diamond believed to be the third largest ever found has been put on display at Botswana. The stone, weighing 1,098 carats, was shown to be President Mokgweetsi Masai 2 weeks after the diamond firm Botswana unearthed it. The huge gem is only slightly less heavy than the world's second largest diamond, which was also found in Botswana in 2015. Botswana is Africa's largest producer of diamonds. This is the largest diamond to be recovered by Botswana in the history of over 50 years in operation, said Lynette Armstrong, a Botswana Diamond Company acting managing director. From our preliminary analysis, it could be the world's third largest gem quality stone. So that is quite amazing that they found such a large diamond. Alright, next. Federal government closing Friday for new Juneteenth holiday as Biden set to sign bill marking day when emancipation news reached Texas. The federal government will observe the new holiday on Friday. Long-sought win for Cronin Jackson Lee after Wisconsin senator abruptly drops objection. So Juneteenth is going to be celebrated, and it's closing Friday, the banks. It says with federal announcement, the new holiday will be observed on Friday for the first time. Over the weekend, thousands will join in celebrating Juneteenth, the holiday commemorating the emancipation of slaves in Texas, a tradition that stems from 1865. Alright. Next, from Zero Hedge, We have Facebook overwhelmingly being used for online recruitment in active sex trafficking cases. A stunning new report shows that social media platforms, most prominent of which is Facebook, to the majority of online recruitment in active sex trafficking cases. The data was revealed at the Human Trafficking Institute's 2020 Federal Human Trafficking Report. Human Trafficking Institute CEO Victor Butos said on Wednesday, the internet has become the dominant tool that traffickers use to recruit victims, and they often recruit them on a number of very common social networking websites. Facebook overwhelmingly is used by traffickers to recruit victims in active trafficking cases. I think it was down here that I read. In addition to Facebook, both Instagram and Snapchat were most frequently cited platforms for recruiting child victims. So women and children have been most likely recruited by social media. So please be aware and be careful when you let your kids on Facebook, Snapchat, and what's the other one? Facebook, Instagram, and Snapchat. So please be aware of your kids when they use the websites. All right, next, Kim Jong Un admits North Korea facing a tense food shortage. North Korea leader Kim Jong Un has officially acknowledged that his country is facing food shortages. Addressing a meeting of senior leaders, Mr. Kim said the people's food situation is now getting tense. He said the agricultural sector has failed to meet its grain targets due to typhoons last year, which caused flooding. There are reports of food prices have spiked, with North Korea news reporting that a kilogram of banana, or 2.2 pounds of banana, costs $45. North Korea has closed its borders to contain the spread of COVID-19. Trade with China has plummeted as a result. North Korea relies on China for food, fertilizer, and fuel. North Korea is also struggling with international sanctions imposed because of its nuclear programs. The authoritarian leader of the single-party state talked about the food situation at the ruling Workers' Party Central Committee, which started this week in central Pyongyang. During the meeting, Mr. Kim said the national industry's output had grown by a quarter compared to the same period last year. Officials were expected to discuss relations with the U.S. South Korea during the event, but no details have been released yet. So sad to hear that the people of North Korea are facing food shortages. Alright guys, that's it for this video. Hit like and subscribe for more news. Pray for each other. Watch over each other on these difficult times. Make sure that you guys, from seeing the possibility of more rain and storms coming from the Gulf, start getting prepared for the hurricane season, because once the hurricane season starts, it's gonna be back to back to back possibility of storms. So please be prepared if you live in the Gulf or the East Coast. Storms are coming. So please start getting food packed, getting canned goods, water, candles, flashlights. Make sure you slowly start getting everything prepared for hurricane season. Alright guys, that's it for this video. Hit like and subscribe for more news, and God bless you guys. See you next time.